I'm going to read my text for y'all. 2:13, Jeremiah is, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed out cisterns for themselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." I'm going to start with the story. Ryan's going to know this story intimately. Last night, I go home. My parents are out of town right now. I go home, and when I walk in, I see the shades coming up, and there's lights on. Everyone's out of town. My mom and my dad specifically, y'all know him. He's OCD about cleaning. He barely let me stay in the house. And I'm barely home. I left at 6 a.m. Came back at like 11:30. So it's not like I'm dirtying it up. But I see people there, so I'm like, who's in our house? And I see cars, so I walk in, and Luke's in there. Well, first I get an image of there's beer pong on that nice table that we just met at the other day. Beer pong going on. Some guy, I swear, he had a huge beard. I'm like, who is Luke hanging out with? There's a bearded man in my house. And I just say, bros, get out of my house. Because I'm going to get in trouble already because he's in the house. So I'm walking in. This is the second time. I did this with Eric once, and I did it with them. And this guy's like, okay, I'm getting it. So they leave my house. And I struggle with how to work with Luke because I don't want to just beat him over the head like, you're messing up, you're messing up, you're messing up. Because he hears that enough. So, but I'm not also going to let him step all over me. So I just say, get out of the house. And he's kind of, I can tell he's high. He's murking at me, saying stuff like, oh, you're all pissed off. Well, you're in a pissy mood today, Grant. And I know it's not him. He doesn't act like that. But it's getting under. I'm like, I have this cry for him. I don't know if y'all notice. I love my family, but I also get so frustrated with my family. Like Eric and Luke specifically. I think it's that I care so much. Maybe if you ever had a relationship with a guy, a girl. So a girlfriend. You want her so bad, then she rejects you, and you keep maybe wanting her, then it's either you love him or you're just like, okay, I can't be around you. And I think we decide, okay, if you're not going to love me, you're not going to like me, forget it. And that's kind of how my heart's been with my family. I'm like, I want the best for you. I want the best for you. Come to church. No, I don't care. You're gay. I don't care about that. So, okay, forget it. I don't even care about you then. It can't be in the middle. So I'm trying to work on making that in the middle. But my cry is that, I'm like, Luke, what are you doing? Like, there's so much to offer. I see Eric coming around, and I'm like, man, I love this kid, and I want the best for him. So the way I handle it, I tell off his friends, but I don't really say anything to him. But it ends up me and him kind of getting into it, and he ends up leaving. But the way I see it, I have an analogy that I think he views it, God, the same way I do, that God's coming in to take. So he's gonna make his own cistern. He's gonna make. All right, I don't want the living fountain of water. I want my own. So he's like, I'll make my own. And then God says, but there's no water in that. It's not going to sustain. It can't. But he's going to try his own way. And the way I see it is, God coming into a room. I think Luke's a very passionate person, but he's got a misplaced passion, which is just destroying him. And my analogy of how to see God not as a taker but as a giver. It's not like God shows up and then we were doing okay. Now God shows up and now my life's screwed up because he showed up. No, your life was already screwed up. He's coming to fix that, and we don't view it that way. So my analogy is just, it's like God showing up in your room, and you're just in your room. This is when he found you. You didn't find him. That he found you in your room. You're playing in your own filth. You're in your diapers. You're just pooping all over the place. Urinating it. It's disgusting. You're with your scissors. You're playing with scissors. You're doing everything you want to do. You don't want any rules. So you're playing with scissors, running with scissors. You're just putting in a socket. Like every rule that you mom and dad's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't have those rules. So you make your own cistern. You do what you want, and it's disgusting. The place stinks, and that's the world that you built. That's the world that we built before Christ, and we know that. And God comes in, and he's just like, what are you doing? Like, why do you want this? Like, why do you see this lifestyle and say mine? Like, why do you cling to this? When I open the door and I say I have so much more to offer. I have so much more to offer. And you think that I'm coming to take this room, this world that you've made, this cistern that you've taken and invested in. Why would I care for that? So I think we view God as wanting this cistern and saying, oh, I want your broken cistern. No, he says, I don't understand why you would want to invest so much into this. I don't understand why you care, why you worship this world that you're building when it's not going to hold any water. I have a living water. Like the typical verse is the mud pies from C.S. Lewis that he says, that it's not that we lack passion. We have the passion. It's just it's misplaced. It's like a little kid playing with mud pies in the mud, and while he can't even understand or fathom enjoying a holiday at the sea. And that's the way I think we view it, as God's a taker. When he doesn't want to take, he wants to give, and he has so much to offer. I think that we need to, if we're gonna be passionate, if we're gonna put our hope, put our time, put everything we have into something, put it into something that's eternal, that created us, that knows us, designed us, that can actually withhold everything we have. Because more and more drugs, we're just doing more and trying to do it bigger and better. It's never worked out. Ask any addict.